Verbal communication and its characteristics, types and advantages of verbal communication. Verbal communication means effectively presenting your thoughts in verbal format. That is by talking. Verbal communication skills are essentially in the world of business. Be it a weekly meeting or presentation to stakeholders, the importance of verbal communication is unparalleled. People always remember a person who speaks clearly, effectively, confidently, and very clearly. For instance, Apple co-founder Steve Jobs' speech launching the iPhone is a classic example of brilliant verbal communication that people remember even today. Similarly, many speeches made by former US President Barack Obama are also unforgettable. A powerful speaker is also able to connect with their audience easily, like these such great persons. Characteristics of verbal communication. Before we explore the various features of verbal communication, let's look at its primary form. Verbal communication is oral in nature. Oral communication encounters or encompass various activities such as talking, laughing, listening. We often navigate different emotional situations through oral form of communication. We also have written communication that include script, alphabets, acronyms, logos, graphics, etc. To interpret written communication or written message, everyone involved must understand the code, that is the language. This is different from verbal or spoken communication. There are several characteristics that are specific to verbal communication. Messages being communicated directly or indirectly related to an object. We use concept to communicate messages. The content should be understood by both the sender and the receiver. Cultural factors influence the content of message. While communicating emotions and feelings, a sender's state of mind influences the content of message. Even though we talk to our friend, family and co-workers on a regular basis, we may not always be aware of how we are communicating. Mastering the art of verbal communication will help you in more ways than one. Let us explore different types of verbal communication and how your audience factors into it. Types of verbal communication. Verbal communication goes beyond words, sounds, and language. You need to know your audience to talk to them better. Remember that you can follow pyramid principle and start with your main argument and then follow with the supporting statement. You can classify verbal communication into four types of the based on your audience: intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, small group communication, public communication. The first one is intrapersonal communication. This is your private verbal communication channel. You talk to yourself and articulate your thoughts. Communicating with yourself will give you more confidence and clarity in your thoughts. It will help you make up your mind, form your sentences, and find suitable words and effective ways to connect with other peoples. This will help you gain your colleagues' trust in the workplace. Then another is interpersonal. You can also call this one-to-one verbal communication between two persons. This type of communication happens between the two individuals. It helps you to understand if you are getting your thoughts across clearly. Reactions, responses, and verbal and non-verbal cues from the other persons will help you understand whether you are being understood or not. Make sure that you listen to other person intently. Communicate doesn't just mean to talk to someone. It is also about listening. Listen, think, and then respond. Take time to think and make sure you don't offend people with your response. Small group of communication. The number of people increases in a small group communication. You move from communicating with single person to few more. With a small group or could be team meetings, board meetings, or sales meetings. The number of participants in small enough for everyone to communicate with each other. When you attend a small group meeting, be prepared with a topic to make sure you stay on the track, stay on topic, and allow enough time for everyone to present their thoughts. The another point is public communication. You may also know this type of public communication, that is the public communication. Here the individual addressed a large number of people at once. Speeches, elections, campaign, presentations are a few examples of public communication. Since the number of people in the audience is larger in this type of communication, be sure to use words and phrases they will understand easily and structure your thoughts before addressing the audience. The more prepared you are and more confident you will feel like a public speaker. Verbal communication is a broad topic. There are various elements that helps us organize on our thoughts around it. They are tone, speed, and volume. When you express yourself, your tone determines the message to be interpreted. For example, you can be saying something nice, but if your tone is not proper, the message will not be conveyed, or message will be conveyed very differently. Your tone makes a huge difference to your speech. The another important point is speed. The pace at which you speak is important as it determines the reaction of your audience. You may have attended lectures or webinars where people speaking slowly and softly can get boring. Similarly, it may be difficult to understand someone speaking at a rapid pace. Volume. Volume ranges from a whisper to a scream. The volume at which you talk can convey various messages. For example, if you whisper into someone's ear in the presence of multiple people, it can be misconstrued as something negative. On the other hand, screaming while someone is talking is rude. Always monitor your volume depending on the social context. Additionally, language, grammar, and vocabulary are critical aspects of verbal communication, and errorless messages to to hiring manager, for example, can make a break your career opportunity. This is why verbal communication is a critical skill for success in professional settings. As well, effective communication helps with the decision making and increases collaboration in teams. Let's look at the benefits of different types of the verbal communications. That is the advantages of the verbal communication. Verbal communication is one of the most important medium of the communication. The stronger your communication skills are, the easier it is for you to establish trust and build lasting relationships with others. Here are some benefits of the strong verbal communication. It provides complete understanding and there's room to clarify any messages that may have been misunderstood. It is one of the fastest mode of communication and is time efficient. There is a space for providing feedback which allows two or more people to engage in a conversation at the same time. It allows speaker to exercise influence and persuade listeners to agree with ideas, thoughts and opinions. It is flexible, that is you can change your language and tone depending on the situation you are in or a relationship you share with an individual. In short, verbal communication is one of the most reliable methods of communication. Its benefits apply to the world of work as well. Let's look at the various types in which strong verbal communication skills can be beneficial for professionals. Where there are the 5 points: building relationship, persuading someone, bringing clarity, improving productivity, and increasing motivation. Such type of the points are there in the same connection. Where building relations, verbal communication allows you to build strong interpersonal relations. Such type of the minor points are there here about the advantages of the verbal communication. With this, I conclude. Thank you.